What up, world? Established Rich coming right back at you. My next topic, I wanted to get back into this Terrence Howard interview on PBD Podcast. Ever since Terrence sat down with the PBD Podcast, where he openly described an encounter with Diddy, the media has been in a frenzy, but not the frenzy you would expect. Instead of taking a closer look at the allegations he made, they've shifted the spotlight to Terrence's personal life. His marriages, his charges, his relationships, his loyalty to black women, his comments from 10, 15, 20 years ago. Is this a coincidence? I'm not sure. Because when a man, particularly a black man, speaks out about something the industry wants to keep quiet, the character attacks follow. We've seen this movie before, and it's not fiction. Look at Paul Robeson, one of the greatest black voices of all time. A scholar, an athlete, an activist, who spoke out against racism, who defended the civil rights movement. The government blacklisted him. They tried to erase him from history. Look at Muhammad Ali. He spoke his truth about the war. He stood on principle, and they stripped him of his title and called him a traitor. Now, I'm not saying Terrence Howard is any of these men, but the blueprint is familiar. Terrence Howard shared a personal story, a story about an encounter he had with Diddy, an experience that clearly left him uncomfortable. And instead of that story being taken seriously, instead of a discussion about predatory behavior in the industry, the narrative flips. Now it's Terrence hates black women. Now it's Terrence is a troubled man. Now it's Terrence doesn't deserve to be listened to. We're supposed to forget what he said on that podcast and only focus on what they're telling us he is. But why is that? Because if they can discredit him, if they can smear him enough, if they can make enough noise around his past, his marriage, his views, then people will stop listening to what he actually said on the podcast. Because we are living in a time where when men speak out, their legacy, their image, their dignity will all be sacrificed to protect the power structure. And I'm not here to defend everything Terrence Howard has said or everything he has done. He's had his failures, just like everybody else. But you cannot tell me that what he said on that podcast didn't matter, that it didn't peel back another layer on what's been going on in the shadows of the music business for a long time. You may not like the messenger, but that does not mean the message is not real. I don't know what Terrence Howard future holds, but I do know this. Every time a black man speaks out against the machine, the response is never just about what he said. It's about who they need him to be to keep the status quo going. And to that, I say don't fall for it. The attempt to discredit him, that's the real distraction. But that's just my opinion. What's yours? Like, comment, subscribe. Established Rich. I'll be back with another one. Peace.